First, we will recognize the current members of our chapter of the National Honor Society. These names are listed in your program. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until all names are called. Please hold your applause until all current members have been recognized. Thank you. Our current members are seniors: Anna Bonner, Samuel Cosmello, Danielle Goff, Benjamin Goodykunst, Carly Goodykunst, Thomas Goodykunst, Brock Amar, Alyssa Johnson, Mackenzie Lewis, Robert Reynolds, Adam Rowe, Journey Shell, Ardeen Stillo, Daniel Tierney, Haley Tripp, juniors: Tori Auckland, Benjamin Black, Caitlin Boyer, Jack Condon, Kayleen Conklin, Mackenzie Cook, Giovanna Fiore, Aaron Houlihan, Kaylin Hughes, Morgan Mansfield, Sarah Marble, Olivia Martin, Ashley Torres, Madison Wellstead. The current senior officers are President, myself, Megan Summer, Vice President, Caleb Folk, Secretary, Mary Kerr, Treasurer, Isabel Morris. You may be seated. The membership of the National Honor Society chapter at Blue Ridge has been earned by the demonstration of the 4 qualities held in high regards by the Society. Myself and my fellow officers will now review these qualities for the candidates and light a symbolic candle of each virtue. Mary Kerr, our current secretary, will look at the quality of character.
Every day we face challenging choices, some that could affect the rest of our lives and many that could affect the lives of others. Often we are met face to face with difficult obstacles, and we have to make smart decisions to get out of those tough times. How we deal with complications individually and as a community shapes one of the most important aspects about each one of us, our character. I believe that this pillar of the National Honor Society is the foundation for the rest. Having a good character is embedded into the leadership roles we take, the service activities we perform, and the hard-driven scholarly achievements we continue to attain. A lot of components go into what makes someone's character. Factors like their work ethic, integrity, and commitment are just a few things that mold a person's character. Obviously, each person on this stage has met the requirements to be here, but every day, each one of them makes the choice to be a good leader and to have good judgment. Most importantly, having a good character is doing good for others, even when there is no recognition or reward. Each individual in the Honor Society has a distinct personality different from the rest. Each member's character is what allows them to be identified as who they want to be. Your character distinguishes you from everyone else. Every decision you make adds to your character. Your character is achieved, not received. No one else can build up your character like you can. Oftentimes, we are faced with decisions where we don't know what to do. Sometimes we face harsh consequences for the choices we make, but how we deal with those consequences and overcome difficulties really reflects our character. Making wise, individual, and collaborative choices that will impact the rest of the world is a huge responsibility. Yet, even a bigger responsibility is how your everyday choices impact individuals. Helping those you know personally as well as unfamiliar faces shows how committed you are in bettering the world. We have all been through ups and downs, and getting out of hard times builds your character just as much as being a kind citizen does. So my advice to the new members of the National Honor Society is, have patience with yourself when making decisions. Think about how your choices will affect others, and always do what you think is right. Now, our current Vice President, Caleb Folk, will speak on service.
The second pillar of National Honor Society is service. When it comes to service, there are two basic types: service to yourself and service to others. All of these members behind me are the second character, the one who serves others. Now, the foundation for positive change does start with service. You can change the world one small action of service at a time. Whether you go out and do our roadside cleanup or you help an elder get to their car. Small acts like these start to put yourself on a great path that you will develop for many years. Not only do these acts affect you, but they affect those around you until they realize that you don't need to run for president or become the next Nobel Peace Prize winner to make a difference. But the one thing that is needed to make all this happen is a selfless heart. You have to be considerate of others to be able to serve them. If you are selfless, you will go further in your life than if you are selfish, because the more selfless you are, the more trust you will build with others. When we look and see who we will choose for our new members, we make sure that they are selfless and will continue to be for years after they graduate. The National Honor Society doesn't just choose the kids that are going to serve during high school and stop. The NHS chooses those who we know will continue to serve many years after their time with the National Honor Society. Now, our current Vice President, Megan Summer, will speak on leadership.
I would first like to congratulate you all for getting here. Your families are so proud of you, and you should be too. But a leader, a go-getter, is never satisfied. We always want more. We always want to be better. We lead the pack, we set the example, we take charge. We are the compassionate and understanding. I put an emphasis on we because, as the old saying goes, there is no I in team, and there also isn't in leader. A true leader does not say I, they say we, because a leader is never only representing themselves. They are representing a group of people. A leader rallies everyone together so that they all can work to improve the community or the world as a whole. Leaders put out their hand and say, "Hey, I'm here for you," or "What can I do to help?" Leaders give hope. Leaders give confidence to others so that they may also make an impact on another person and another. There's this chain reaction, and now there's this big group of people who are inspired, and this inspiration magnifies as each new person is added to the chain. When looking back, there was one individual that was just following their instincts and trying to do the right thing that started all of this. It really is the little things that make a big difference. Go out there and set an example. Go sit with that person that is alone all the time. Go read to children. Go help at the food pantry. Go help your elderly neighbor. There are so many things that seem minuscule in the big picture, but in the moment, that act of kindness means the world. People might have had the grades to be in the National Honor Society, but these individuals sitting on this stage have the service hours, the motivation, the character that represents the finest from Blue Ridge. These members, old and new, are family members and friends, but most importantly, they are leaders. They are part of the glue that holds our Blue Ridge family together. We are a small school, but we are a strong school. Let's be leaders and take more people under our wings. Let's guide them so that they may see what their true purpose is. Leadership is so hard to define because we as leaders play so many roles, and we leaders have each and every pillar that my fellow officers are speaking on. We have character. We are generous. We care for others. We have scholarship. We have the knowledge to make the right decisions. We have service. We help those around us. We give our time to those in need. All of these traits are cumulative to being a leader. Being a leader is a tough demand, but it is so rewarding to see your impact. Continue making a difference. Continue being the light that leads the way. Continue being a leader, and you will change the world.
Scholarship, the fourth and final of the four pillars of the National Honor Society. Every student seated behind me on this stage exemplifies the true meaning of scholarship. But can anyone tell me what scholarship really is? Someone who possesses scholarship isn't the student with the highest grade in the class. Possessing scholarship means having a commitment to learning. It means putting in the time and effort outside of the classroom and realizing that success comes with the constant expansion of knowledge. I'm sure everyone seated in this room has heard the quote, "Knowledge is power," at least once in their lives. When you are a member of the National Honor Society, we know that you believe this quote to be the truth. Members of this society believe that good enough isn't, and that learning never stops. Those with an understanding of what scholarship means to them know the devotion that it requires. I can bet that every single one of these students has experienced those sleepless nights, pulling an all-nighter, just to be sure your work is its best. The students in the National Honor Society always do their work at 110% effort because they know that's what it takes to truly succeed. At this time, our Vice President, Caleb Folk, will lead us through the induction of our new members.
At this time, will all of the new candidates please rise and repeat the pledge? After reciting the pledge, our new members will be recognized individually. I pledge to maintain high school scholastic standing, to hold as fundamental and worthy an untarnished character, to endeavor intelligently and courageously, to be a leader, and to give of myself freely in service to others. In so doing, I shall prove myself worthy of a place in the National Honor Society. Please hold all of your applause until all members have received their pins and returned to their seats. Family and parents of the new members may move closer to the stage at this time for better photo opportunities. Seniors, Matthew Glassel. Juniors, Liberty Graves. Sophomores, Lydia Andusco. Ashley Barton. Garrett Conklin. Mason Conklin. Jenna Crocker. Brandon Finley. Holly Geyer. Brianna Graves. Cassidy Howe. Caitlin Lewis. Eli MacArthur. Jenna McCarthy. Connor Mills. Ryan Mills. Jacob Morris. Brianna Post. Andrew Scott. Alexia Stone. Anthony Torres. Caitlin White. David Wolf. And Carissa Zawiski. Please be seated. Now, our President Megan Summer will begin the installation of the new officers.
I will now administer the oath to the incoming president, Giovanna Fiore. Your duties are as follows. The president presides at chapter meetings and prepared meeting agenda. The president also keeps informed of committee progress and the needs of the chapter. Do you accept these responsibilities?
I accept and pledge myself to uphold the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
Now the current Vice President, Caleb Folk, and the incoming Vice President, Kayleen Conklin.
The Vice President presides in the absence of the President and may have the responsibility of a project or a committee. Do you accept these responsibilities as your own?
I accept and pledge myself to uphold the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
Now the current Secretary, Mary Kerr.
The Secretary records the attendance and proceedings of each month and acts as the chapter's correspondent. Our incoming Secretary, Madison Wellstead, was unable to attend tonight, but she accepts the responsibilities of her new position. Now the current Treasurer, Isabel Morris, and the incoming Treasurer, Caitlin Boyer.
The treasurer receives and spends funds as directed by the chapter and keeps a budgetary record of the chapter. Do you accept these responsibilities?
I accept and pledge myself to uphold the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
Now we will have a few words from Ms. Hughes, the National Honor Society advisor.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Eust, and I am the advisor of the National Honor Society here in the high school. I would like to begin by thanking the administration, school board, faculty, and staff for your help and support of this special event for the students. Additionally to you, the parents, family, and friends of our NHS members, thank you for attending this event in recognition of the accomplishments of these outstanding students. Your attention, love, and guidance are critical in the lives of these high school students. As the advisor of the National Honor Society, I have an insider's view on the many ways that our students support and assist in the school and the greater Blue Ridge community. I witness the moving parts, the active servers, the willing volunteers who step up when opportunities arise and lend their efforts to help others. I also see the constant determination and the drive of these outstanding students to achieve and succeed academically. The students in this group before you are never okay with just okay. They want more, above and beyond. Back in the fall, some of you family members in the audience came home to find a laundry pile of clothing that I have no doubt was almost unrecognizable. On a chilly November 29th, a group of our National Honor Society students volunteered in a Pennsylvania Environmental Council-sponsored illegal tire dump site cleanup located just outside of town. Partnering with Top-Notch Tree Care, New Milford Hardware, and Green Gables Restaurant, these students worked to remove dozens of illegally dumped tires from a less than welcoming location. The reason I mention this is not to bring back images of mud-soaked clothing. After all, who could possibly forget what we looked like or smelled like when we returned to school, but to illustrate an important lesson that was learned that day. The success of our work to remove the tires hinged on one important component: teamwork. As we formed an assembly line, passing off tires slowly to the next person, moving them closer to the edge of the site, it became obvious that if just one person moved, stepped away, or backed away from their spot, the operation would never be successful. With the only pieces of firm ground being about the size of our feet, it took everyone to move just a single mud-soaked tire. And when a group of students paused to readjust boots, warm their hands, or throw snowballs, not that that ever happened, the entire operation had to pause. Everyone was needed, 100% effort, 100% of the time. The One Day in the Swamp is a small illustration of the daily need of every single one of the NHS members sitting on the stage right now. Whether it is through tutoring, community events, recycling, musical activities, sports-related volunteerism, the list goes on, each member of the NHS is needed to fill their role and contribute to the health and strength of our group. When just one student, or then another and maybe another, decides to step away from the pillars that make this organization strong, the goals and the missions of the National Honor Society cannot be met. To you, students, to the members of the National Honor Society, collectively you represent countless hours of selfless sacrifice and service to the Blue Ridge community. Your hard work in school is no secret, represented in your incredible academic accomplishments. But please know that when you hand in hours forms for me, documenting what you did or where you helped, they are way much more than paperwork in my perspective. They are glimpses of how you are impacting the world around you and the unbelievable work you accomplish. Each year, I look forward to seeing new and better things, and you never disappoint. To the new members, congratulations, but to all members, keep up the great work. I am truly honored to work with such special students here at Blue Ridge. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to introduce our superintendent, Mr. Button, to provide our closing remarks.
I know those who spoke before me mentioned and recognized everyone here this evening, but I would like to say thank you to Mrs. Webster, Mrs. Eust, members of our school board, parents, family members, members of the National Honor Society, and all of our new inductees for the opportunity for me to be a part of your program this evening. In addition to those thank yous, I also want to acknowledge our school board and administration for their continued support of our academic programs. A special thanks to Mrs. Kowalski and the cafeteria staff for tonight's wonderful dinner, Mrs. Eust, our National Honor Society advisor, and our National Honor Society faculty committee, and our maintenance and clerical staffs for all the efforts for making tonight's program a success. Tonight, we're here to honor the academic achievements of our students. I extend a special thanks to our dedicated teaching staff for providing an outstanding educational opportunity for each student at Blue Ridge. Students, many of your teachers are here tonight. This is surely a testament to their commitment to each one of you. I also want to recognize the parents and special people who supported each student here tonight. Students, please give your teachers and family members a round of applause. This ceremony held tonight highlights the commitment that each student here made since they entered their freshman year. I will tell you that this school takes great pride in its academic programs. Over the last 5 years, we've seen our school move to the upper tier of schools in the region with performance in SAT and AP assessments. I regularly encounter alumni and community members who recognize and speak very highly of Blue Ridge and its students. The students here tonight represent the best and brightest in our entire region. Their future teachers, doctors, lawyers, executives, business owners, law enforcement officers, artists, engineers, musicians, scholars, and military leaders sit before you. I am very proud of our students, our staff, and our school. I appreciate the opportunity to work at Blue Ridge, and more importantly, to interact with these students on stage this evening. In closing, I would like to honor and congratulate each student here tonight. I challenge each of you to exceed your potential. I am confident that you will take the skills honed here at Blue Ridge and do important work as young adults and beyond. Thank you. Everyone have a great evening and have safe travels home.
With that, our ceremony concludes. We would like to thank everyone for their support towards the Blue Ridge National Honor Society chapter. Congratulations to the new inductees. The school and community are proud of all of you and what you have accomplished so far in your school career. We plan to make the remainder of this year and next school year full of projects to help serve our school and community, all while maintaining leadership positions, good character, and high scholastic standing. Members, please remain on stage for a few minutes for group pictures. Have a wonderful night and a safe trip home.